Boom. Tell me I'm on time. It's a beautiful Thursday evening. It's a quarter to 19 hours, quarter to 7 p.m. And I'm sitting in my office coming to you live from Simoson Building, plot number 8585 on Simon Mwewa Lane, on the corner of Lucia and Simon in the CBD, opposite City Market, in the heart of the CBD. This is the epicenter of commerce, confusion, utter bedlam, and a place I call my second home. I'm being dramatic. Guys, do me a favor. Could you jump on here real quick? I've got a quick one for you today. Guys, let me explain something to you. In the process, please share this live. Please, Bo Allen, love you. Thank you so much. So glad to see you. Please swing this live over to people that you think would be interested in this conversation and see if we can talk about a couple of things. When I come to you a few minutes before the 7 o'clock news, just know that I'm going to try and be as concise as possible. I'm going to squeeze this thing in. It's going to be so compacted. It's going to be so dense that you won't even know what hit you. So, I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. Please tell me quickly if I am loud and clear. The very last thing that any vlogger or any content creator wants to experience is bad sound. You know, people can stomach a bad picture, but oh honey, they can't stomach bad sound. If you've got bad picture but good sound, you're good to go. But if you've got bad sound and good picture, oh honey, they just jump off. They leave you faster than you can say molasses. They do. So somebody says you're loud and clear. That's what I want to hear. Just a quick update before we get into my main topic today. I was reading, just heard on the wireless a few minutes ago that David Kazadi, the filmmaker, the Zambian filmmaker, who happens to be a good friend of mine, and him and I, we get along swimmingly well. You know, he, as many of you know, was arrested yesterday in connection with Mwaka Halwindi's sex video. He's been somehow linked to that, and we're going to see how the score comes out. But and a few hours ago, he was released, and he was warned and cautioned. Now, in Zambia, you know, I used to think many years ago, before I went through the legal system, you know, because I've had my brushes with the law. When you get to my age, in Zambia, it is very easy to go to jail. You have no idea how easy it is to end up in jail. Not to say that I'm trying to make an excuse. I'm just telling you that before I had my brushes with the law, I used to think that warn and caution meant the police sit you down and say, we've been hearing stuff about you. Now I'm going to give you a warning, okay? We're going to warn you. The stuff we've been hearing about you, don't do it again. Go out there and be a model citizen. That's what I used to think when people said warn and caution. The truth is, when you have been warned and you have been cautioned, it means you've been arrested, you've been formally charged with a crime, and for you to leave the police station, for you to not escape, for you to leave police custody lawfully, you have to have two working sureties. Two people that are gainfully employed, two people that can vouch for you in case you disappear, two people that are traceable, two people that the police can call at the drop of a hat and say, hey, listen, man, we're coming over to your house. You better be there. Those two people Once they sign a surety, they vouch for you, it is only then that the police can let you go. So you've been warned and you've been cautioned. That's just code, C-O-D-E. That's code for you've been arrested, you've been charged, and I sound like I'm somebody from Boston. You've been arrested, you've been charged, and you've had two sureties, and then the police let you go. They give you a court date, and you have to appear when they give you a court date. If you don't appear, guess who's in trouble? The two sureties. So always be very careful who you sign your bail for or bond for. But anyway, but what I wanted to say about David was it's a very unfortunate, sort of string of events. And this has come at the very cusp of this new season of Icon Zambia, which is a hugely successful show. I was privileged and honored to host that show in the first season. And I must tell you that as much fun as we had, and we had lots of fun, as lucrative as it was, because we got paid very well. I'm not going to tell you how much we got paid, but the paycheck I got was just, I was like, wow, really? This is great. As great as all of that was, it was very hard work. And you need someone at the helm of that sort of organization who is consistently high octane. And David Kazadi was high octane all the time, every single day, all day. He brought 100% energy to the set. He never came to the set lazy or feeling like it wasn't going to be done. He always had this high octane attitude of, we're going to do it, and we're not going to go home until we do it. We're not going home until we do it right. Now, with this new scandal, under the shadow of this new scandal, of course, what usually happens with these sort of things is, sponsors begin to pull out and things like that, and then the show sort of loses its steam. With Hot FM announcing that they have relieved David of his duties and his role as CEO of Hot FM, it becomes very difficult for him to, in my view, to sort of to produce the Icon show. Now, if they decide to bring a different producer to produce that show, they have to find someone that is at the level of David Kazadi in terms of energy, in terms of getting things done, because he has the complete vision of that show. He literally has it in the palm of his hand. And in order for that show to continue without David Kazadi, they need someone that can match that level of energy and competence in terms of producing that show. Trust me, I watched that guy work. That is not for the faint of heart. Producing that show was not kids' play. I mean, it was high level stuff, and different departments had to always bring their A game. Each person had to show up with their A game and their game face on, and you had to be ready to go. There were no excuses. There was no lollygagging. It was always go, 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 go. Let's get the job done. So anyway, so we'll see how that turns out. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to say about sex tapes in Zambia. Whenever the police, and I know if I were to mention to you the name of this person that went through this horrible experience, it really brings into question the competence of our police officers. And this is this is a conversation that we should have. There is nothing worse, in my view, there's nothing worse than a police officer that uses their uniform not to serve, okay, not to serve, not to protect the Zambian people, but to use a police uniform to satisfy a deviant, sick desire. I'll give you an example. There was a story not too long ago, a few years ago, You guys know if I were to tell you who the girl was, you would instantly know who she was. This is a girl that, now remember, this was back before we had the cyber laws in their current state. We still had laws. I mean, back in those days, it was unacceptable. It was unlawful for you to produce or to post yourself naked or to show your private parts and things like that. The police got involved. Now, with this girl, she posted a naked video of herself. She was arrested. The arresting officer, now this is a true story. We're not making this up, okay? It just goes to show you that, when the Word of God says the heart of man is desperately wicked. Okay, so this arresting officer arrested this young girl and proceeded to process her in preparation for her to go to court to face the charges of indecent exposure, not indecent exposure, producing pornographic material online. The police officer said to the girl, if you don't want this case to go to court, you know what you're going to have to do. The girl said, what do you mean? The police officer says, you're not a child. You're not a little girl. You don't need me to spell it out for you. I'm telling you now, if you don't want this document to go to the courthouse, you know exactly what you need to do. You need to break me off a little something, okay? You need to give me a little bit of hey. And she looked at the officer and she couldn't believe what he was proposing. Tell me in the comments if you know exactly what he was suggesting. This was here at Central Police, a Zambian police officer. Guys, this is the reason it's important, I think. And if the police are listening to this, when you have such cases where young women are involved in some type of sexual display of their female anatomy, the police should not assign such cases to men full of testosterone, horny as hell, but not for a uniform. There is nothing worse than a horny police officer sitting in front of a girl that's been charged with indecent exposure. It is a powder keg. It is a perfect storm. It's an absolute mess. The police should never allow a man to handle the case of a woman who's been charged with indecent exposure, because chances are that officer is going to try and take advantage of that girl by using his position as a police officer in uniform. My brothers and sisters, I submit to you, there is nothing on this earth that is more shameful, that is more putrid, that is more repugnant than a man that uses that august, prestigious uniform to take advantage of a girl and threaten to take her to court unless she breaks him off a little something. You know what I'm talking about. You don't need me to sit here and spell it out for you. It's shameful is what it is. Now, the girl, and this is a true story, she said, I was scared. I was fearful. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought that if I went to court, the judge was going to send me away. I thought the judge was going to find me guilty, throw me under the jail, lock the jail, and throw away the key. And my family would never see me again. She was just a kid. So she said, because I was scared and I had no lawyer, just the police officer and the girl. She said, because I was scared, I let him do what he wanted to do. I gave him my body more than once. And this is the thing about these people. You give your body once, they're going to ask for it again. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Every single time they feel horny as hell, they just phone you up and say, girl, it's on. It's on. Where are you, girl? Where are you? It's on. Now, that is a crime. But guess what? That police officer was never charged with a crime. Never. He got away with it. And chances are, because he did it to that girl, he has done it to multiple other women. These are stories that you and I never hear. But oh, they're happening. They're taking place. We have a precinct full of horny police officers in uniform taking advantage of young girls. And they know that in the back of their minds that they're going to get away with it. It's wrong, I tell you. It's wrong. All right. Thought I'd share that with you guys. All right. Lastly. Oh, it's 19 hours. Very quickly. Freemasons. Now, guys, the Word of God says, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Okay? If you don't, my father used to say it this way. He used to say, if you don't know a thing, you can't define a thing. Did you catch that? If you don't know a thing, you can't define a thing. Okay? Because in Zambia, it's very easy to just label something Satanists. No, those are Satanists. Do you know what a Satanist is? A Satanist is someone that worships the devil. Freemasons don't worship the devil. In a nutshell, let me explain it this way. Freemasons are the largest fraternal organization on the planet. Now, you may ask, what is a fraternal organization? Fraternal simply means led by men. It's a group led by men. Universities have fraternities. Colleges have fraternities. A group, an organization of men is called a fraternity. Freemasons are a fraternal organization. Now, the things that they get involved in are things like charity work, and they espouse ethical living. They're a close-knit networking group. They network amongst themselves and between themselves. There is no difference between Freemasonry and the Rotary Club. Boom. Just to give you perspective. Okay? It's an organization. It's not a religion. Okay? That's where you get it wrong. And here's the thing. Many of you are stuck in this idea that because you heard it from somebody. Oh no, they're Satan. That is a Satan. That is my Satanists. No. Freemasonry is not a religion. It's just an organization. It's like the Rotary Club. Let me tell you what a religion is. If you, for those of you that are sitting on this high horse and you're talking about, no, we can't allow Freemasons here, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, because you don't even know what Freemasonry is. You don't know who the Masons are, what they stand for, how long they've been on earth, and what they do. You know nothing. All you think of is Satanism. If you're going to rail against a religion, okay, a religion that is anathema to the Word of God. I mean, the Latter-day Saints, the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints, that thing is a cult. It's here in Zambia. The Mormons, they're here in Zambia. And they've got a church over there at off Nangwenya Road. None of you ever stood up and said, we don't want the Mormon church here. We don't want the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints here in Zambia. You know why? Because you know nothing about that organization. You don't even know that the Mormon church up until 1978 did not allow black people in that church. Did you know that? The Mormon church for many years taught that black people didn't go to heaven. The Mormon church. The Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. They taught that up until 1978. In 1978, they had an epiphany. They had a revelation. Oh, actually, we got it wrong. Black people can go to heaven. Black people can join the conclave of the clergymen within the Church of Jesus, the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints. Oh, really? What? So from 1978, as a black man, only then was I allowed in the church? So my point is, if you're going to rail against religions, rail against organizations like that Mormon thing. They don't like black people. And here you are sitting talking about Freemasons. You don't even know what the Masons are. They're just a charitable organization. They're like the Rotary Club. That's it. Nothing more. There's no Satanism in that. It's just a group of men who believe in networking, who believe in charitable work, who believe in ethical living. They've got a code of conduct. I remember once, Mzinga Melo once used the phrase, she said, your network is your net worth. The Masons believe, I'm not saying Mzinga Melo is a Freemason, because Masons are men, okay? It's not headed by women. I'm simply giving you an example that Mzinga Melo once said, your net work is your net worth. The people you know, the people that you are associated with, the people within your network are the ones that help you get to where you need to go. Your network is your net worth. The Freemasons believe that. They believe in networking. They believe in charitable work. They believe in ethical living. Okay? That's all it is. There is no Satanism there. All right. Thought I'd share that with you. Thanks for watching. Yala ya zanda ngatuachirwa sana. Good night. Somebody says you are a Freemason. No, man, I'm a Christian. Come on, listen. Who's this? Mwape Jones. Kuba Dao. Is this what I said? Did I say I'm a Freemason?